Hi, I'm Kesenya and welcome to Guiding Star Astrology. I'm your Astro Weather Girl, here with this week's Astro Weather Report. I'm going to show you how the stars are going to affect your life this week. Hello, my gorgeous friends out there in YouTube land. It is a delight this week to be coming to you with something I've been itching to talk about for so long. I've been biding my time, waiting until this week to be able to talk about the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction at 23 degrees of Pisces. I'm so excited about this video, so thanks for joining me. Before I talk about this though, also on the 12th of April, because the conjunction of Jupiter and Neptune is occurring on the 12th of April, but also on the 12th of April, we begin the entry into eclipse season. This is so powerful that both these things are happening on the same day. Eclipse season will start on the 12th of April, and this is when we determine this by knowing when the sun is within a certain range of its future eclipse point, and when it is, it triggers the start of the season and all the potential events that are about to unfold as a result of the eclipses. So this day is powerful. Now, if you want to be the first to find out about this eclipse and what it's going to mean for your sign, plus receive a free ebook all about the influences of eclipses, then sign up for my Patreon page for eclipse season. You only have to sign up for 1 or 2 months, like April, May. It's €5 for a month. And then you don't have to, you can let your enrollment lapse if you want to, but I'd love you to join me for eclipse season because it's a very special eclipse season. I want to share all about it with you, and I want to give you this free PDF ebook all about eclipses so you know for the future how eclipses work and how they unfold. If you want to join me there in that space, and I hope you do, the link is in the description below. It is such a pivotal, exciting time we're entering into this week because eclipse season is starting and Jupiter-Neptune conjunction is occurring on the 12th of April. Very exciting. So, of course, that all depends on where you are in the world. I'm talking about Melbourne time, Australian Eastern Standard Time. So both of these things are occurring on the 12th of April for me, but you might like to compare where you are in the world compared to, say, Melbourne on the 12th of April. And if you're on the west coast of the USA, you can pretty much consider that it's going to be a day behind that. So the 11th of April, perhaps for the west coast of the USA. If you're anywhere in between that, then do check out, do a bit of a Google search to find out if you want the exact times. It's happening, as I said, at 23 degrees and 58 minutes of Pisces exact. And here we are up here at Pisces. We've got the planet representing Neptune there and the planet representing our big protector of the universe, protector of the solar system, let's say, Jupiter. Jupiter is a very protective planet because think about literally in the solar system, Jupiter and his magnetosphere absorbs any stray comets or any stray astral bodies and sucks them into himself. And that protects the inner planets, Mars, Earth, Venus, Mercury, and the moon, obviously. So we are protected by the great Jupiter, and I just love this energy of him coming together as the great protector with the highly spiritual and I was going to say idealized. That's not what I mean to say. Sort of idealistic is the word I'm looking for. Energy of Neptune coming together here, and we're going to talk about what this influence is going to mean for us all, and we're going to talk about what it's going to mean for all signs. But I need to point out that this conjunction in Pisces, it is part of a 166-year cycle. The last time this occurred in Pisces was in 1856. So a long time ago, and there was many things happening at that time. There was a revival of the spiritualist movement. We were heavily into the romantic movement by this time in 1856. There were a lot of upheavals in the world at the same time as well. I think we had the gold rush in Australia and the gold rush in California unfolding. We may have also had the rumblings of the Civil War in America around this time as well. We know that this cycle, because everything moves in cycles, that's what astrology is all about, this cycle will repeat in 13 years' time. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. So the 1856 conjunction in Pisces was in effect for about 13 years after 1856. There's so many cool things that can happen, and we're going to talk about these with Jupiter-Neptune conjunction. But I can't help thinking about the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction in Libra in 1946. This has really been playing on my mind for some reason, and I just feel like I have to mention it, even though it occurred in a completely different sign. In 1946. In 1946 in Libra, this conjunction brought about the discovery of a number of very key spiritual and religious, Jupiter is religious, Neptune is spiritual, documents. And Libra has to do with contracts and documents. So we discovered all these spiritual documents like the Dead Sea Scrolls. And there's another document that I cannot for the life of me think of the name of that was discovered in a very similar way. It's very rare, unique, ancient documents discovered in Egypt. If anyone knows the name of what I'm trying to think of, please list it in the comments section. But these were two of the very key Gnostic documents that were discovered in 1946. So we may be about to see some unfolding. Because Pisces is such a spiritual sign, we're going to see some unfolding perhaps of some highly spiritualized and maybe religious information that now is released and comes out to us all. And I'm just so excited by this. As I said, back in the last conjunction of Jupiter and Neptune in Pisces in 1856, we had the spiritualist movement, we had the romantic movement in action, we had so many other things unfolding. And let's take a look at how that might be influencing us this time around, 166 years later. Well, Pisces, first of all, is the most sensitive of the water signs. So we are likely to feel this stronger than at other times when the conjunction occurs in every other sign. Pisces is so sensitive. So this time back in 1946 in Libra, you may not have felt it at a deep, personal, inner, psychological level the way we're going to feel it this time around in the sign of Pisces, because Pisces is so sensitive. And of course, I mentioned that this happens every 13 to 14 years. So we're beginning a brand new 13 to 14 years cycle before we'll have the next conjunction of these two, which will be occurring in the sign of Aries. So that's going to happen in 13 to 14 years' time. So it is an exciting time. We're starting a brand new cycle, and that always thrills me no end. I mean, that happens every month with the new moon. The conjunction of the sun and the moon heralds a brand new cycle around the horoscope of the moon. Each time we have a conjunction of the sun and the moon. But there are so many other conjunctions that herald the beginning of new cycles, such as whenever Mars touches a planet. Recently, it's touched Saturn. Saturn-Mars conjunction happens roughly every approximately 2 years. And so every 2 years, we have a brand new cycle of the energies of Mars and Saturn that begins. And we can learn so much about what's going to come up for us in the ensuing 2 years based on the conjunction falling where it does. I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. So that's very exciting. But this one is powerful because it is such a long time between conjunctions. It's not 2 years. It's not 1 month, as in the case of the moon and its cycle, or the 2 year Saturn-Mars cycle, or the 1 year Venus cycle of conjunction with other planets. No, it's far more potent than that because it happens every 13 years. And therefore, it's more powerful, more impactful. And in Pisces, that impact is going to be felt at a deep personal level to each and every one of us on the planet. Pisces is boundless. It is boundaryless. It has no limitations. So this is going to be really wonderful for all the positive elements that are represented by this conjunction. But obviously, it's also going to be extremely challenging for the shadow side of this conjunction as well. There are no limitations, no holds barred, no beg your pardons, no walls on this particular conjunction for good and for bad. It could go beyond limits we've ever seen before. So it is very exciting, and we're going to talk in just a second about how these things are going to express. Both the planets, Neptune and Jupiter, rule the sign of Pisces, and both are very strong here. Neptune in general, in a very succinct manner, and I've talked extensively about what Neptune and Jupiter mean in my various playlists. You can check those out if you want to know more about these individual planets. But Neptune is, generally speaking, about a lack of clarity. It's about idealism. It's about dreams, creativity, high-level spirituality, healing, and escapism. Jupiter is all about expansion, going beyond, abundance, overextension in the shadow element of Jupiter, but growth, wealth, prosperity, higher knowledge, and our beliefs are represented by Jupiter. So in his expansion of things, whatever Jupiter touches, he expands. In his expansion of things, Jupiter will also reveal as well. We're going to get a lot of new things revealed under this conjunction because of Jupiter expanding our awareness of Neptunian things. To me, that's very exciting, and it's something that needs to happen. And of course, both of these planets and the signs that they rule, Sagittarius for Jupiter also, but Neptune ruling Pisces, both have to do with travel, both have to do with faraway places, both have to do with distance and other cultures. So foreign things. Very, very exciting, especially coming on the heels of the last 2.5 years we've had, where all those things to do with faraway places, other cultures, travel, etc., have been inhibited in our lives. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see what impact this conjunction has on those things. I need to point out, with that in mind, that this conjunction is occurring in the ancient lunar mansion, and I might say this wrong, forgive me, I'm not very good with my foreign pronunciations, but in the lunar mansion of Alfaga al-Thahini. I hope I said that correctly. But that's the lunar mansion that this particular conjunction is occurring in, and it's not actually helpful for building or for traveling, this lunar mansion. So even though both these planets represent travel, this placement in this lunar mansion could have some significance around travel. Again, it's still going to be present and an issue with us, I feel, for a few years yet to come. But what are the good things about this lunar mansion? Well, this lunar mansion is good for gardening and planting and growing things. Thumbs up there. It's great for commercial activities. It's great for commerce-based pursuits. It's really good for love and getting married. Thumbs up there if that's on the cards for you at all. It's great for medical treatments. It's also really good for starting lawsuits. And I imagine there's a lot of lawsuits unfolding on the planet at the moment. So this can be favorable for those who start lawsuits. But look, I just need to qualify this by saying that the exact astrological significance of the lunar mansions and the methods for how we use them, the information on this has been almost entirely lost. But the ancients believed that they were extremely important. We know that much. And so much of our ancient astrological roots used lunar mansions and emphasized lunar mansions. I just wanted to make mention of this influence for this incredible conjunction that is unfolding. So the ancients believed that the lunar mansions were extremely important, and so I wanted to reference that. Let's look in the beginning at the challenging things that this conjunction can bring about for us. Well, everybody's talking about flooding, extreme flooding events. Look, in Australia, we've already seen this unfolding, quite frankly. As I'm recording this, Sydney is under some parts of Sydney and its surrounding areas are under evacuation orders because of the tremendous amount of flooding. The forecast where I live, which is a long way from Sydney, but we have a forecast at the moment for the next 3 weeks to be continual rain. And of course, Lismore and the Byron Bay area. For those who aren't familiar with Australia, Lismore and the Byron Bay area have had horrific flooding over the last month. It's just been catastrophic. We're talking meters high above above the high water mark since last floodings occurred there. If I can, I'm hoping to share a photo of a McDonald's sign that's, the big signs with the big golden arches on them, that was almost completely underwater That's how high the flood depth was. So if I can find that, I'll share that in this space now. If I can't, use your imagination. Phenomenally high water levels like we've never seen before in Lismore and Byron Bay area. It intrigued me, and I just want to mention this. This intrigued me because Lismore and the Byron Bay area are some of the most spiritually energetic places, is the most spiritually energetic place in Australia, I believe. And the indigenous peoples knew this. There's so much spiritual activity in the Mount Warning, Lismore, Byron Bay area. It's phenomenal. You just need to go there. You can sense it. You can feel it in the air. It is a mecca for alternative lifestylers in Australia these days. It's our easternmost point in Australia. Byron Bay, the easternmost point in Australia. And therefore, when the sun is rising, that's the point that receives the light first. The light of the sun hits Byron Bay first before any other part of Australia gets it in the morning light. That's some esoteric significance right there. And I don't know whether it was the Indigenous Aboriginal people in Australia or whether it was pre them, but in Australia at Byron Bay there were some stone henges, some stone circles like that which we see in Britain. And in 1959 these stone circles were bulldozed by the farmer who owned the property that they were on because well, how do I put this politely? Australian farmers have had a thing for many, many years about not declaring Aboriginal artifacts on their property lest they lose their land, unless their land is taken from them. So that was why this particular farmer, who had these incredible stone henges on Australian soil, bulldozed them. How tragic for the history of the world. It's a very, very spiritual place. What I've just illustrated there shows that. It also now has the highest population of unvaccinated people in Australia live in the Byron Bay area. And all this flooding, I'm like, why is this occurring in this area, this highly spiritual area? Is it possible that there's a purification energy coming with the flooding? I mean, Byron Bay, it's been a super spiritual area, but as with a lot of these spiritual places, it attracts people who want to market that and capitalize that and exploit that through tourism and through all that sort of stuff. And so, I don't know, maybe all this rain is a purification of that area of Australia. Maybe all this rain, I mean, here's a conspiracy theory. I'm not opposed to thinking about conspiracy theories and what's wrong with that. Let's consider options and ponder them, discuss them, share what our thoughts are around them. But cloud seeding, where would certain people groups want to direct cloud seeding energy to perhaps rid society of a condensed group of unvaccinated people? Just an idea that occurred to me. I don't know whether that's true or not. What do you think? Why don't you write down in the comments what your thoughts are about that topic? I'm not saying it is that way, one way or another. It was just something that occurred to me as a part of this flooding that has been bombarding this area in a phenomenal way. Maybe it's a result of cloud seeding. Maybe it's a purification energy, getting rid of what is not spiritual in that area. Who knows? There is meaning behind everything, and that's one of the things we learn about when we first delve into astrology. There is more going on than meets the eye. If you're an astrologer, you realize that. If you don't realize that, then I don't know how you're coming to be doing astrology. There is more than meets the eye. So, as you can see, this is all unfolding now in the last month or so, and we're going to see more flooding, more extreme flooding events unfolding not only in Australia, but all over the world in the coming months and days. There will possibly also be issues with water in our lives, in our environment, in our homes, in our community, maybe in our body. We just feel bloated perhaps. We feel swollen with water issues in the body or water retention. So issues with water will be prominent because of this conjunction. Remember, we're talking about all the challenging things that this conjunction represents at this point. Now, emotional release is very connected to this combination in the sign of Pisces. So it's an emotional release that can lead to many tears, because tears are water. So this is both good and bad, depending on your circumstances and what you're going through. There are going to be a lot of tears that are shed now. And if you get teary, if you need to cry, go for it. Let it all out. This is what the energy wants to do. Tears are, like I've just described, might be happening in Lismore, tears are purifying. Tears get rid of the old emotional wounds, plus the gunk. We kind of shed something when we cry. We release something out of our system when we cry. So emotional release and tears. Jupiter, remember, expands whatever it touches, so lots of tears, and that's okay. It's perfectly okay. Neptune as a planet is in the shadow side, is connected to lies, deceits, affairs, fogginess, having the wool pulled over our eyes, not seeing things clearly. Jupiter expands all those things right now in the shadow side. Neptune is also anything fake. I don't know if you've noticed this, but if you're an astrologer, the amount of fake Instagram accounts popping up, OMG, it's overwhelmingly annoying. And every astrologer I know is subject to this at the moment. Neptune, Jupiter conjunction, an increase in fake things, fake accounts imitating real astrologers, offering really valuable services to the world. Can I just say on that, I will never, ever PM you, private message you, asking if you want a reading. If you would like a reading from me, come to me. I am more than happy to do that. Come to my website. You'll get everything you need there to arrange a reading with me. But I will never pursue you for a reading. So please, if you ever get a message from me, think twice. Look twice. It's probably not from me. We can expect, under the influence of Jupiter-Neptune conjunction, we can expect this sort of thing to increase. So deep breath, all you astrologers out there. Neptune is also drugs. Neptune is also medications. Neptune is toxicity. Neptune is pollution. So be careful of what is being pushed around this time. Jupiter is going to expand these things. A push for more medication. A push to take more toxicity into your life. A push for drugs. A push to pollute your body and the environment and the world is the shadow side of what this energy could represent. Don't forget, there's a strong energy of deception in the shadow side, the low vibrational side, that comes with this combination. Forewarned, forearmed, have your wits about you. Neptune is also martyrdom. Neptune is self-sacrifice. Neptune is spiritual superiority through self-flagellation. If you know what that is, I am so much better than you because I abuse myself. I don't know if you've ever encountered that sort of energy before. That's a lot of what the martyr energy is. And I'm not talking about martyrs that are thrown to the lions. I'm talking about people who say, it's all right. I can endure this hardship. And I'll take it for you. I'll take this shit for you because I am so spiritually superior. It's that kind of energy. You will martyr yourself. You will sacrifice yourself. Very Pisces energy too. For somebody else, because there's a spiritual betterment idea that goes with that. It's kind of off, isn't it? But that's a Neptune shadow side. Nullifying the self. Degrading the self. These are Neptune shadow sides. It's a psychologically intense planet, Neptune. And Jupiter is expanding all this stuff now. Forewarned, forearmed once again. This is the energy of spiritualist movements and mysticism, and these can be really, really wonderful. We'll probably talk a little bit more about that in just a second. But be on the alert for deceptions in these areas as well. Like gurus who deceive us, spiritual, like I said, superiority through arrogance can also be revealed. You know, if there've been spiritual people, and I've actually had an incident over the last month where this has been revealed to me as well. Somebody who'd set themselves up as a bit of a guru, a bit of a spiritual, look at me, came crashing down. It was just in my circles. I'm not going to name names, but that can be very much a calling card of this energy. Spiritual superiority through arrogance is revealed. Remember, Jupiter is revealing because it expands things so that it becomes obvious. You can't ignore it anymore. So do watch out for that shadow side of the spiritualist mystical movement, where people and their true intentions and their true, self-orientation show up. Now, obviously, oil prices. Neptune is oil. And Jupiter is inflation. So here we go. Oil prices, this and this obviously has flow-on effects in the world. So this is what we're seeing. Do guard yourself. Do protect yourself from these sorts of things. Just because I don't want anyone to suffer, I'm going to share what I've done. I've changed my home loan from a variable rate to a fixed rate, because God only knows what this is going to do in the next 13 years when we have this inflation element in society, okay? That's just one idea. You might have other strategies. If you have strategies and if they can benefit the other people in our YouTube community, please list them below. Let's protect one another. Let's do our Jupiter high vibrational energy of protection for our fellow man. Strategies for dealing with inflation difficulties. The other challenging thing that I note with this combination is people lost in romantic illusions and failing to see truth, failing to see the reality of the circumstances that they are in. Misplaced romantic devotion that leads to one partner giving more than another. Very much a hallmark of a shadow side Neptune, and Jupiter can exacerbate the shadow side Neptune. But that said, keep in mind that this conjunction is occurring in a sign that both are at home with, a sign that both do well in. So it is much more likely that we're going to see the positive things express rather than the challenging, obnoxious things. They will be there, but I just believe, because I always like to think on the positive side, I'm very Jupiterian, I believe that the potential for the positive things to develop is stronger under this conjunction. So let's go there now. What is going to unfold positively with this Jupiter-Neptune conjunction? Firstly, I'm excited by this because the arising of true healers, true mystics, true miracle workers happens now. Miracle cures. And for everybody who's had a vax injury, that should give hope. There is potential now for cures that could come from this. Like I said, healers, but mystics, spiritual healing as well, deep psychological healing that can occur in the sign of Pisces. So, even if your body physically can't be healed, you can have an experience of being set free beyond the body, beyond the physical realm. That is the ultimate healing with this combination. We can have an increase in the higher arts in our societies, more poetry, more music, more dance, new dance styles, new film styles. I'm excited by the music that could come out of this because, to be quite honest, I've had a gutful of the crap music, and I'm being very kind when I use the word crap. I could use a lot stronger language. The crap music that's been around for eons. When are we going to have some decent music again? I love my music. I particularly favor the Neptune in Libra musical era, which was the late 50s, early 60s. Wouldn't that be nice again? But anyhow, in Pisces, which is romantic, it's beautiful, it's higher plane, it's higher level, it's divinely inspired and channeled, music. I can't wait. Bring it. We could also have higher level photography and anything fanciful, anything imaginative. Look, I wouldn't be surprised to see a hugely successful fantasy novel arise over the next 13 years. Something of the likes of Tolkien, C.S. Lewis, or J.K. Rowling. We could see a spate of poeticism unfold, new wave of dance genres or something that comes out. When was the last time we had a new dance craze like the Charleston or, the, I don't know, I'm old school, but the jitterbug or the Lindy Hop or even sort of 60s go-go dancing? When did we last have a new dance craze, a new dance style? It's time, people. It's time. I'm excited. Bring it. Romanticism at the highest level increases under this conjunction. We're going to see, I'm so excited about this, we are going to see more people finding their soulmates. Pisces is soulmate love at the highest vibrational level. The true rulers of Pisces coming together in Pisces. My heart is racing at the thought. People finding their soulmates, unconditional love, purely devoted energy. Can I just say, I'm thrilled to bits to be sharing that with everybody. I really am. We need more of that on the planet right now. We also need more compassionate giving. We need more benevolence, more charity, more care, more kindness. This combo is going to bring it. So hurry up and come. I want to see this energy unfold. It is powerful and it's going to bring beautiful things to mankind right at a time when we need it most. We're going to see a lot of people becoming telepathic. Neptune is this higher channeling energy, and that doesn't mean we sort of go into woo-woo land. You can channel through receiving messages in dreams, being a bit psychic, having a vision. If you have been having a vision of a certain thing happening in your life for the last 2 weeks or so, I want you to pay attention to that because it is likely to be a message from this applying conjunction of Jupiter, Neptune that's been happening over the past 2 weeks. It's strong. Applying aspects are strong manifestations. So whatever you've been dreaming of, whatever you've been fantasizing about, look, everybody knows I do my cranky dance, my FU dance to the leaders of the world who I don't have a lot of time for. Being very kind with my words there. I do that dance, but I also do a dreaming and vision dance. I put on my music, I just dance to whatever, energy wants to flow through me. And by the end of an hour of dancing, I have this vision in front of me of what I want in my life, of interactions that I want to have, of manifestations I want to make. I use that energy. Use that energy yourself now. This is the time because these inspirations, because Neptune and Jupiter are inspirational, these inspirations that come through this conjunction are messages from the divine to pay attention to, and we can actually really manifest our visions and our dreams now. So whatever works for you. I do my visionary dance. Some people might have really strong night dreams. Write those down. Trust your dreams now. Pay attention also to omens and signs and synchronicities that are unfolding. The universe is, and I'm talking like other dimensions, other realms, the universe is speaking to us loudly with a foghorn now. Listen, everybody. Here is the message, the vision. We can have interaction with that through our psychic selves, our prophetic self, our visionary self. Tune your radio into this frequency and you will not fail to hear its message. It's coming through loud and clear with this conjunction. Information coming through divine realms. Use this energy to pray, meditate, vision dance, whatever. Seek the answers that you're craving. They will not be held back from you under this influence. The universe wants you to find the solutions to your problems now. And the angelic divine beings, represented by the sign of Pisces, will be doing all they can to show you the way. Ask, seek, knock, to quote the Bible, but listen to the answer too. Don't just pray. This is my problem and blah, this is what I want fixed. Listen. What are the signals, signs, omens, messages in your spirit that the universe is trying to give you? They can come in subtle ways sometimes, but all you've got to do under this energy is just listen slightly. Boom, it will be there for you to, you cannot fail to hear it if you have the ears and the eyes open to see and hear. So take the time to visualize your life, get my words out, as you want it to be. This is such an important practice because if you think it, you can become it now. It's a time of magical manifesting. See what you desire and commit to its fulfillment. I want to share a little story with you about one of my clients who was not able to travel overseas due to the circumstances in Australia at the moment. They weren't able to travel overseas to a conference they wanted to go to. I encouraged this person to visualize it and act as if it was so. And as soon as he decided in his heart, I'm going to go. He didn't go and book a ticket or anything like that, but as soon as he decided in his heart, I'm going to go, and I trust the universe to make a way for me. As soon as he decided that, the money to go arrived in his account to do so. His ex-wife was perfectly amiable about taking care of the children while he was away. And he was like, these are signs, these are omens, this is meant to be. And he's going. He's got his ticket. He's on his way. The restrictions and the blockages to his particular circumstances have been removed. And all he had to do was have the belief in his heart that this can be so. Amazing, amazing, exciting times. More people are waking up to spiritual truths now, and the ability to manifest under this influence is strong. So although deception can be increased, so can this spiritual awakening of our spiritual power and spiritual perceptions as well. We are going to see spiritual meaning everywhere. A lot of people who were not before may start to become clairvoyant under this influence, clairaudient, clairsentient, etc. So tune in. Again, I just emphasize that point. Many people are going to start to see other beings, maybe angels or other dimensions or something. Many people are going to be able to adopt new beliefs and see them, see the world differently. I mean, these new beliefs are going to enable people to see the world in a whole new light, with a whole new perspective. In that sense, it's so very exciting. So spiritual wisdoms are going to be revealed. I talked about how this happened in the conjunction that occurred in Libra in 1946. Spiritual wisdoms were revealed through documents. Libra has to do with documents, Dead Sea Scrolls, etc. I want to point out that throughout the 1840s and 50s, when this conjunction last occurred in Pisces, we had massive discoveries and excavations of the Assyrian cuneiform library in Nineveh or Mosul. That was a powerful time, and spiritual wisdoms were revealed, particularly astrological wisdoms were revealed through those tablets that were discovered throughout that 20-year period in the mid-1800s. Jupiter is also truth and higher law. And so coming together with the highest manifestation of spirituality, when it's in its high vibration, which is Neptune, and in the sign of Pisces, we might bring an idealistic vision for compassion into the world through some sort of higher laws that are enacted, maybe Nuremberg 2.0. Let's hope. Not deception, let's hope for this higher vibrational energy that we would all like to see. And you know what? I love this. Back in 1946, I'm sort of jumping between sort of the last conjunction in Pisces and the conjunction in Libra. I just found the 1946 conjunction to be particularly fascinating with what occurred. But I love this. Bikinis went on sale in 1946 for the first time. And what does that represent? Neptune, oceans, and here we have oceanside attire, water attire, bikinis. And Libra is obviously the sign of style, so that's an example of how astrology works. We also had at that time the first Cannes Film Festival. Neptune is film in very refined and sophisticated Libra. That's another thing that happened in 1946. I know that that's not summing up everything that is Neptune-Jupiter conjunction in Pisces, but I just find this conjunction, it's not going to happen for another 13 years. I just wanted to talk about it now because I just love how astrology works. These combinations and connections and webs and intricacy that astrology builds are just fantastic. So if you're a history buff like I am, you totally get off on observing how these things work. But just to sum up what I'm talking about here in the introduction before we get into the all signs breakdown, this is our moment of change on the planet. We're moving to a higher state of being for all of us now. And from now on, things are going to be very different. New 13-year cycle starting. There's still going to be battles to be waged metaphorically, but the victory under this conjunction will ultimately be Maybe it'll take a few years, who knows, but the victory will ultimately be to the good, the pure, and the righteous, which is the highest vibration of Pisces energy that we want to see manifest on the planet. So excited by this combination. Well, thanks so much for letting me talk away for nearly 40 minutes about my delight in this really exciting combination. But now we're going to move through all signs. We're going to move through fairly swiftly and see how this might be affecting you in your life in the coming weeks, but potentially over the next 13 years as well. So it is a long cycle. We're going to start with, I'm going to do something really odd, and I'm going to put the conjunction in the 6th house. We're going to start with Libra. Boom. Thanks, Libran people. Because we've been talking so much about Libra and the conjunction that occurred there, why not start with our beautiful Libran friends? So the Neptune-Jupiter conjunction will be occurring in your 6th house. Neptune doesn't want structure in the 6th house, and Jupiter is going to expand that. Neptune wants to flow and it wants lightness of being. So the 6th house is all about routine and grounded structure and organization. Jupiter here might give, expansion to the need to flow, an expansion to the need to be sort of light with everything. And sort of that can decrease the energy of groundedness and structure and organization. So be conscious, Libra people, that things might seem a little bit out of control, but the more you flow, the more that you're open with, a varied schedule in your daily routine, the more you can cope. You might desire to be a productive member of society, Libra. I'm sure you do. However, you're going to need to be very cruisy because Jupiter is going to expand Neptune's influence, and there could be surprise twists and turns that happen as a result of this conjunction in your life. So in your work life, you also need the freedom to come and go as you please, to work in your own unstructured manner, but still getting things done. So Jupiter is going to expand Neptune here for the next, this influence in your 6th house for the next 13 years. Keep your schedule as much as you can free flowing. And I want to encourage you to clear confusion, to clear lack of energy and lack of clarity or ambivalence regarding employment by employment and daily routines. Clear the lack of clarity and the fogginess in that area by focusing on Jupiter things. Having a spiritual routine, having a creative routine, schedule time. So I'm going to do some spiritual reading from this time to this time. I'm going to do yoga this time to this time. I'm going to meditate this time to this time, and bring in structure and routine, 6th house, into those spiritual Neptune-Jupiter things instead. So that's how you can work with the energy in a personal way in your life, Libra, rising, sun, or moon people. Scorpio rising, sun or moon people, the energy of Neptune-Jupiter conjunction is falling in the 5th house. This is where there might be an influence unfolding in the coming days, but also potentially at some stage it might be an influence for you over the next 13 years as well. The 5th house Scorpio is all about romance and love and soulmates. So Jupiter can represent in a woman's chart a spouse. So influential men in your life, whether you're in a partnership or you're awaiting one, could be very tender and very romantic and soft and gentle with this combination. The aim with this combination in the 5th house is to connect to divine love and to avoid cynicism and negativity towards romance and love, despite the sufferings that you may have endured and the mistakes that you may have made in romance. So don't close your heart. Try to learn from any mistakes made in romance. Try to allow your mind to you need to keep your feet on the ground, yes, but don't lose the magic. Don't lose the belief in love and true romance, because the more you believe that, even in the face of the lack of it in your reality, the greater chance that it can manifest for you at some stage over the coming days, weeks, months, and even years. Under this influence, we can fall in love with both a person's soul as well as their physical appearance. That can happen too, and their sexual appeal. 5th house has to do with sex, so we can have a divine tete-a-tete or interaction or connection with someone at a sexual level, at a soul level, at a physical level. And there's also potential for a high level of attraction to Neptune, Jupiter type people, musicians, artists, highly creative people. Fifth house is also celebrities. That's also possible too. We might have a creative approach now, fifth house, to being compassionate in the world, and particularly towards children. You might, be really inspired to be compassionate to children in some way over the next 13 years, and somehow maybe, you're supporting a group that removes children from sexual exploitation or slavery or something like that. And my goodness, we need people to be active in those circles, to be the savior, very much Neptune Pisces energy. And with where children are concerned, fifth house, Scorpio people have a great deal of empowerment to be able to make change there in the world as a result of this conjunction. Neptune dissolves boundaries as well. And here in the fifth house, with this position, you need to focus on being very discriminatory, I would say, towards male partners if you're a woman. I'm sorry to the guys who are watching this. I'm not saying that this combination doesn't apply to men with their women as well, but Jupiter in Vedic astrology is the masculine. It's the spouse in a woman's chart. Coming up in a few weeks, not very long, we're going to have a Neptune, Jupiter, and Venus conjunction, and then it will be applying to men's charts and their relationship with women. So that is coming for you as well. I'm not trying to be sexist here, but yeah, in a woman's chart, Jupiter is spouse. So there might be a need to focus on being very discriminatory towards your male partners, ladies. There might be less discernment that is happening in that shadow side of the Neptune-Jupiter conjunction energy. You might also find that there's an increased, almost psychic creative expression that manifests in your life. Your creativity is flowing from the divine. And I would encourage you to escape into creative endeavors whenever you feel the urge, because that's a gift and a blessing from the divine that might flow out of your life for the coming days, weeks, months, and possibly years as well. Okay, Sagittarius, rising sun or moon. Well, we're seeing the energy of the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction falling in the fourth house for you guys. Well, this is where we might it's a very supportive aspect for restoring broken relationships with family or parental figures, because this is compassion. This is higher love, divinely inspired love. And in the house of family, your and the parental axis, it's directed at parents now. So there can be a lot of restoration that might occur in many people's lives here. You'll need to express compassion to your family without becoming a savior or an enabler of their problems. I talked about this in the introduction, and it's particularly applicable to family situations for Sagittarians. So it's a good time now to walk near water and feel the benefits, doing sort of activities by water, yoga by the lake, or walking by a river. This will be, because this is the deep emotional side of you. Water energy is strong, as we talked about in the introduction. Water energy is strong. If you want to balance your emotions over the coming 13 years of this cycle, take time out by water whenever you need to. It will be calming and peaceful and meditative for you to do this. Also, this is a wonderful energy for creative work around your home, making your home, fourth house, more beautiful, more glamorous. Jupiter expands whatever it touches. Neptune is glamour in the home space. You may never have desired velvet cushions in your house until now, a bit more glamour, a bit more sparkly, a bit more bling happening in the home domestic environment. All of a sudden, you might be inspired to go that direction with your decorating. I would also say that this is a combo for, in the coming days, weeks and months, spending time relaxing in your home environment. It's your ultimate place of escape with this energy. Escaping is very much a hallmark of this signature, and your home is going to be your place of escape. So, that might see you buying some, scented candles or luxury fabrics or something like that to make your home more of a retreat space, a spa space, a dedicated, escapist place of joy and luxury for you. So that is what we may see personally for our Sagittarius rising friends. I would also add, and I probably should have mentioned that, that it could mean for some Sagittarian people you might be moving to a home far away. Living in a foreign land could come to fruition because of this combination. Getting, moving, Sagittarian people like a bit of different culture and adventure. It may just come your way in terms of where you live because of this combination, Sagittarius. Capricorn, rising, sun or moon people. The energy of the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction is falling in the 3rd house for you guys. So this is about writing, speaking, communicating, what we think about. With this conjunction, over the next few days, weeks, months, but even years, as this cycle unfolds, you might be inspired to write poetry. You might be thinking about romantic ideas. You might be more intuitive, imaginative, and creative in your thinking. You have the capacity to impact others with your words because of this combination. Your words will be well received. They will be kindly. They will be compassionate. They will be heard. Sometimes, like if Neptune was on its own, our words could be a bit foggy and misconstrued by people. But Jupiter, remember I said in the introduction, and I hope you watched it, Jupiter can reveal through his work of expansion. So your words can be revealing to other people because of this combination. You might have more of a tendency towards daydreaming, be lost with the butterflies in your head, and why not? Why not? I'm always in that space and I love it. There's this beautiful high level of creative artistry that comes with this aspect, but in a written sense. Poetry, creative writing. If you write music, this is the energy. It's gorgeous. Also, if you're a craftsman and you use your hands for some sort of creative work, then this can also be enhanced also. You will have an extreme sensitivity to what other people are communicating to you as well. You'll pick up on their feelings. You'll pick up on the intent behind their actions, probably more so than the words they're using actually as well. You'll just tune into that sort of thing and have a psychic awareness of what their real message is, what the meaning is behind their words. There's a lot of compassion for siblings and neighbors with this influence. It's good to also take action under this energy to restore any broken relationships with siblings or neighbors now under this influence as well. And do be, because the shadow side of Neptune is to deceive, do be as honest as possible. Make that a standard that you want to stick to. Be as honest as possible with your words and your communications. Otherwise, you might attract back to you any lying or deceit that you dish out. So no mixed signals in your love, no mixed signals or shonky business deals, no manipulating your family and friends for your own gains. Keep it pure so you don't attract back crap karma because of that. All right. Thanks, Capricorn. Aquarius rising sun or moon people, we're seeing the energy of the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction falling in the 2nd house. Now, this could bring some self-esteem issues because Jupiter expands, and this could be unfolding in the coming days or weeks or months, even years, under this unfolding 13-year cycle. There could be some self-esteem issues and worthiness issues. And if there are, be aware that this could affect your finances now. But you know what? This is an energy that might help you confront issues of deservability and find creative solutions so that you can change that dynamic and learn to manifest with this influence. Because Jupiter, he expands things so much that they revealed to us. We can't ignore them. We can't shove them under the rug. And he's going to reveal any worthiness issues to you now. And that's going to ultimately, in the long term with this, help you manifest better, manifest more in your life. Yay! So you might be afraid to ask for the money you deserve for the work you do, but this energy is going to help you learn to appreciate yourself and to sort of not assert yourself in a sort of bossy way, but to just confidently say, I deserve my worth. Not to allow others to take advantage of you. Don't allow yourself to get bitter about things like that may happen. Rather, visualize. Remember, we talked about visualizing in the introduction. Visualize yourself with all the money that you need. Imagine that you have the financial success, appreciation, and value that you desire, and you can manifest it under this influence. If you're able to keep your hope and belief and love buoyant throughout these second house struggles of self-esteem or financial struggles or ability to attract possessions and material goods or your sense of value, if you're able to keep your hopes and beliefs in these things manifesting for you high, then you might find that magic happens in this realm of life because of this conjunction. You know, it's the expansion of Neptunian energy in the second house. The more you visualize, the more you keep your belief and hope alive, the more it manifests, the more it comes your way. The more you can manifest great financial success, strong self-love, beautiful, refined material possessions, glamorous material possessions, that's Neptune. And blessing might also come through a male figure that can bring you these sorts of things because in anyone's chart, male or female, Jupiter is a masculine planet. Particularly in a woman's chart, Jupiter is a spouse in the Vedic system, the spouse in the Vedic system, so they can help manifest that sort of thing for you potentially over the next 13 years as well. Possessions can magically appear and disappear, so get creative, looking, be forward-looking, because Jupiter is to be forward-looking with a wonderful vision board, particularly with regard to the material goals in life and the things that enhance your sense of self-worth. Creating a material reality vision board under this energy, never been a better time for it, guys. So Aquarians, get out your scissors and paper and pictures and magazines, or however you want to do it. I'm so old school, showing my age. Create a vision board and put that out somewhere where you will see it over the next 13 years. Lo and behold, you guys might see that actually come to fruition in the 13 years that are ahead. All right, Pisces, rising sun or moon. This is happening, guys, in our first house. The conjunction of our two house rulers. I am so excited. Yay, us. Now, what does it mean for us? It can make us more emotional. And look, Pisces can be very emotional, but not in the obsessive way that we might see with Scorpio, or not in a weak way, because we are governed as Pisces people by the great protector, Jupiter. And I spoke about why he's the great protector in the introduction. So we are going to be more sensitized. We may be more emotional. And that's okay. We're going to cope with it. We're going to be able to deal with it fine. But it might also, over the coming days, weeks, months, and even years of this 13-year cycle, this sensitization that we feel might send us into things such as physical expressions. First house is our physical body. Physical expressions of art, music, dance, yoga, spiritualism, psychic practices that connect us to divine love. So our sensitized Pisces souls are going to channel this energy into these beautiful outworkings of creativity. Pisces people, the world is looking to you now to lead the way with music and art and all those things I just mentioned. It's time, and we are the forerunners. We are the empowered ones because of this conjunction to gift that to the world. What a privilege. What an honor for Pisces people because of this conjunction. Excuse me. So the goal of this conjunction is to connect Pisces people even more to divine love. So it's going to do whatever it has to accomplish that. For some, it might come through difficulties, forcing us to confront things in ourselves that we've been sweeping under the mat, so that ultimately we can connect to divine love once we've sorted out our junk again. For others, it might come through some sort of divine transcendence or higher realm experiences. It could be astral travel. It could be lucid dreaming. It could be, divine energies speaking to us or through us. Powerful, powerful psychic experiences may be available to many of us as Pisces people, so that we can connect in a greater way to divine love. And I just want to say right here and now, I am open to the divine doing that through me in whatever way it would like to move through me. I hope you're the same if you're Pisces and watching this. So things can feel a little bit out of hand during this time for Pisces people. You might experience sort of magical events. I'm so excited. Magical events that seem like a divine hand is like pulling the puppet strings of our life. And yet things feel so out of control. Like we can't we don't have control over this. And I was talking to a very, very, very dear friend of mine just before I did this recording about this effect, you know, the need to let go and let God, the need to not fight or not try and force things, because for Pisces people, the divine is doing it all, you know. It's time to just allow in, and Pisces are so good at this, open our heart and allow in what the universe wants to do, wants to bring us, wants to manifest in us. Be open, be free. And that's the greatest thing we can do as Pisces people. I know I'm getting all excited here, but the greatest thing that we can do as Pisces people during this energy is to say, I'm open to whatever you want to do, universe. Take me where you want me to go. Put me with whoever you want me to be with. Use me. I am a vessel of the divine. Pisces, it could mean amazing, miraculous, wonderful things in your life. If you can let go and let God and let it take you where it needs you to go, then manifestation can happen magically, overnight. You know, there's the potential with this conjunction for Pisces people is enormous. I'm so excited. Can you tell? Okay, so what else can it mean? Well, it can mean that as Pisces people, we find that we are clearing things out of our life, getting rid of our old unnecessary stuff, removing toxic people, removing unnecessary possessions. This is healthy. Actively dissolving more boundaries that are keeping us from God, that are keeping us from manifesting unconditional love. And praise God for Pisces people. It could see the boundaries that have been imposed on we Pisces people and all of humanity for the last 2 years, they might dissolve now for us. And no more boundaries, no more restrictions, no more blockages, no more holding things back. Because I've got to say, Pisces rising people, Saturn, the planet of boundaries and blockages, is currently in our 12th house. I sound like I'm preaching, but he's currently in our 12th house. And what does that mean? 12th house dissolves whatever goes there. And the planet of boundaries and blockages and restrictions is being dissolved by being in the 12th house for Pisces people right now, while our two rulers, Neptune and Jupiter, meet in the house of Pisces, first house. No boundaries. The most amazing, magical, wonderful experiences can come now to Pisces people. It may not happen instantaneously on the 12th of April, but this is starting a whole new I'm so excited. I can just goosebumps. A whole new 13-year cycle. This 13-year period could be like nothing you've ever experienced before, Pisces. 13 years of this magical combination of energy. Oh, okay. Calm down, Kesenya. Thank you for letting me wax lyrical, everyone. Aries rising. So I got really preachy then. I'm so sorry. Aries rising sun or moon people. That is seeing the combination of Jupiter, Neptune. So sorry. I just need to pull myself together. Oh, I'm so Pisces, Jupiter, Neptune. Aries people. This combination is falling in your 12th house. This is going to bring over the coming days, weeks, months, years, particularly years as this 13-year cycle unfolds, there's going to be a powerful opportunity for you guys to involve yourself in something creative, but more so creative behind the scenes. Something that will impact others in sort of subtle, subconscious ways. So that could be, I don't know, working behind the scenes in a movie or working in a political environment where you're kind of pulling the strings behind the scenes, that sort of thing. There might be powerful opportunities for doing some behind the scenes creative work. Other Aries people might experience very active, very powerful, very amplified dreams and omens over the coming days, weeks, months, and years. Pay attention to these. Write them down. They are your guidance system. I talked a lot about this in the introduction, so do pay attention. This kind of element is very strong with you. I want you guys, Aries people, to actively protect your energy through prayer, through meditation, surrounding yourself with angelic and divine energy. Use your visualization techniques for that, because when we are so open, as this energy will create a lot of openings to divine realms and other realms out there in the universe, not all of those realms are what you want to connect with. Some of those realms can be a bit, no thanks. So protect yourself and say to the universe, I invite in only what is light and only what is love. Make sure, like, you just put that intention out there, and the universe, the great protector, Jupiter, will protect you from those things. And you'll be able to draw in only the good, the pure, the light, the wonderful into your life. Visualize yourself with the divine support that you need to rule over evil energies in the universe at this time. And Aries people, you guys are fighters. You guys are warriors. Use this energy for the sake of mankind. You know, get in there and be the warriors in the divine realms, in the other dimensions, to successfully lead a spiritual battle for humanity. You know, pray, meditate, get into that astral travel and spiritual work, and do the work out there for the rest of humanity to kick the ass of those people who are causing such detriment on the world right now. The energy that's infiltrating our leaderships, our Western cultures, I could go on, but I won't. Aries, we're counting on you. We need you to tap into that Aries warrior spirit. And this energy, Jupiter, Neptune, is going to amplify that in the spiritual realm. That is the mechanism that you can use to do that for humanity right now. There is a great amplification of that for you guys. Now, if you guys need to retreat, you Aries people, sun, rising, or moon sign, if you need to retreat or take a break from ordinary reality, then I would encourage you over the next weeks, months, and years to do so in creative ways, 12th house ways. Listen to music, read some poetry, jump into your daydreams, create a vision board. This will help restore and balance you if you get a bit wobbly. But what a beautiful energy to work with. Taurus rising, sun, moon, people, the energy, whoopsies, get that stuck on there properly. The energy of the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction for you guys is falling in the 11th house, Taurus. And with this position, it's an indication that your friends over the coming days, weeks, months, and even years of this 13-year cycle will be very loving, very compassionate, very generous, very supportive. The 11th house also represents benefactors, friends, social circles, and with Neptune-Jupiter conjunction here, the universe will support you and bless you through these people. So if you have been giving to others unconditionally, then Jupiter-Neptune conjunction is going to allow this unconditional love and blessing and to flow back to you, to be returned to you, amplified. Jupiter amplifies Neptune. Very, very exciting. So you will need to cultivate, I should get my words out, an attitude of forgiveness with friends, no expectations from friends. That's very Neptunian, just a free-flowing energy of love. Let go. And even if your friends don't treat you well at this time, keep believing that people are good at heart. And eventually, over the course of this 13 years, that belief, that higher belief, will pay off and be rewarded and bring fruit. You might have a tendency to avoid confrontation because of this energy. That's okay. You could also potentially be somewhat naive with regard to your friendships in the shadow side of this energy. Jupiter expands even the shadow side of Neptune. So just be conscious, be aware that can be the case. But look, this position in the 11th house is all about your dreams and your wishes. And with Neptune, Jupiter here, you can wish for the moon. Visualize what you want. Visualize your dreams coming true, your wishes coming true. And why shouldn't you? They can manifest because of this powerful combination. You probably have, under this energy, utopic dreams for maybe establishing communities where people are connected and empowered. People are living in harmony with one another and in nature. Go there. Create a vision board for that. Utilize that energy. You might even desire under this combination to join some sort of utopian society. Why not do that? This is a 13-year cycle that's been started. You might, over the course of the next 13 years, get the opportunity to go do that and experience that beautiful ideal. Your dreams and wishes can expand, and I would encourage you to use an old term, move out your tent pegs. It's an old biblical term. We live in the confines of where we set our parameters and our boundaries. Pisces is no boundaries. So Jupiter expands whatever it touches. You're going to push the boundaries of your dreams and wishes right out. Dream big, dream expansively. You know, these sorts of things can even come true under this conjunction. Wonderful. Friendships and benefactors could actually appear in your life to help you achieve these expanded boundaries that can manifest under this influence. What an exciting combination for Taurus people. Gemini rising, sun or moon people, the combination of Neptune-Jupiter conjunction is falling in the 10th house. What does this mean? Well, it's angular for a start, so it's powerful. Planets are always much more powerful in their exhibited energies when they're in angular houses. So what can happen here is that you might be receiving, Gemini, over the coming weeks, months, and years of this cycle, creative downloads. And these are the kinds of creative downloads that help you alleviate confusion with regard to career and vocation and achievements. So remain receptive to the divine influences that are going to want to come in under this. Go with the flow. Follow where the universe leads. Follow the doors that open. Follow your heart. Use your intuition and trust it. This is an energy that won't lead you astray. It's a time for inspiration and going with the flow in your career. So you need to trust God's omens and signs and synchronicities that indicate the right path for you. Be aware and open to following these directions and then act on your inspiration. You know, we need to take action. You know, it's not just about sitting back and waiting, you know, on the couch while we watch Netflix. This energy says divine inspiration comes. This energy says things manifest or doors open, but it's still, you know, we still have to take action and put momentum into things. So this is also an energy, the Jupiter factor gives the energy of masculinity. So there could be male mentors that arrive in our lives to assist us in giving new structure or to make, to help us achieve our worth in our career. So pay attention to the influences of the men in your life, in your career realm, bosses and so forth. You might experience ebbs and flows of passion, because obviously Pisces has a connection to oceans and in that sense tides. So there could be ebbs and flows of passion regarding your career ideas and your career ideals. So keep your vision and your dream, no matter how many people poo-poo your ideas. You know, keep that vision. Wherever Neptune goes is where we have to hold on to our belief. And eventually, if we endure and keep our belief and our vibration high for what we're believing in, it will come to us. It will manifest for us. And the Jupiter conjunction here in Pisces, 10th house for you Gemini people, means your career dreams, your career visions can manifest if you cling tight to that vision and dream and don't lose hope. I would encourage you under this influence not to take chances with authority figures and governments. Be the highest moral manifestation you can possibly be under this influence. This is the house of governance of a worldly nature also. So, yeah, keep that in mind. Creative careers as healers, medical professionals, spiritualists, mystical professions, farmers, charity workers, if you're working in marketing or advertising, if you're a poet, if you're an actor or a singer, this is an energy that can make your career rocket launch. The visions for your career, if you're in any of those very Neptunian, Piscean fields, they could really go great guns for you over the next 13 years, particularly as this cycle will last 13 years. So there's an ability to creatively resolve any cloudy issues with bosses, parents, or authority figures that comes with this energy as well. So again, that could manifest over the next 13 years too. Thank you, Gemini. What a lovely energy. Okay, Cancer, my gorgeous, beloved Cancer friends, Cancer rising, sun or moon people, well, the energy of Neptune Pisces is falling for you guys in the 9th house. Well, this is a position for miracles. How exciting. Miracles can happen through the power of your belief. Jupiter amplifying Neptune in the most blessed of houses. So if miracles happen through the power of your belief, it's likely to be a result of your own initiation first. So believe, take creative action to support your belief, and you could be very surprised at a miraculous outcome that occurs. It's also a time for letting letting the universe flow through you. So trusting your beliefs, trusting in the divine, and going with the flow of what comes. Don't give your power away to other human beings. That's unfortunately a bit of a Pisces trait. Don't give your power away to other human beings. Don't be swayed by other people's opinions. Trust in your own divinity. Trust in your own truth. This conjunction will help you to do that. You can also act from virtuous motivations as well with this combination. You can benefit from people in foreign places or other cultures. You can benefit from your higher learning. And this is where some new beginning is also unfolding that might flow out for the next 13 years. So you might be beginning some higher learning. Come and learn astrology with me. Come and study at the Royal Stars Academy if you're interested. Not that it's going to take you 13 years, but we can begin new higher learning under this energy that's going to bless us. This is an energy of blessing. Bless us in the next 13 years. Why not? And you can, as I said, you can benefit from foreign investments. Getting involved with foreign people in some way, shape, or form can bring an energy of miracles and blessing into your life. There might be a bit of restlessness associated with this combination for Cancer people, longing to travel to exotic places or getting involved with more idealistic belief systems. And why not? Neptune is idealism. Jupiter expands whatever it touches, in this case Neptune in the house, like Neptune idealism in the house of other cultures. So you might be inspired because of this combination to travel to a faraway culture, another land, to involve yourself and immerse yourself in some utopic or idealistic cultural practice, cultural belief system. That could be fun. So if you're feeling restless under this energy, if you're feeling like, oh, I've got to get out of here, got to break free, it's a great day under this energy on the 12th of April to listen to those callings of your heart, to listen to those motivations, and I would encourage you to perhaps consider acting on those as well if you're in a place to do so. Thank you, Cancer, rising, sun or moon. Well, Leo, rising, sun or moon people, the energy of the conjunction of Jupiter, Neptune, not going to happen for another 13 years. We're beginning a whole new 13-year cycle, Leo, is happening for you in the 8th house. This is an extremely psychic and spiritual position. So for you guys, for those of us who are Leos, astral travel, paranormal experiences, they could come very easily at this time. Very easily. So beware though, because this is the house of gateways to other realms and paranormal experiences. We need to be careful of predatory influences, and so I'd encourage you to put protections around you from the more negative occult energies, protective techniques such as prayer, visualization, surrounding ourselves with angelic or divine energies, because we don't want to sort of allow into our open gateways. This is a boundaryless energy. There are no blockages, no limitations, no holds barred. We don't want to let in the other energetic forces through those gateways into our lives that we could really do without. So protect yourself. And it's not that hard. I'm probably making it sound more woo-woo than I need to. You just need to say to the universe, I only welcome in the light. I only welcome in love. If you are not of the light, if you are not of love, get out of here. Not welcome. That's all you got to do. You have great power in the universe through your determination. So Pisces, even though it's Pisces, we perhaps need to set some boundaries or put some boundaries in place, because Pisces is boundaryless, and in this case we might want a few. So we can also, under this influence, address any issues with succession planning. This is the house of wills, inheritances, and that sort of thing. So you might want to address some issues, and you'll be empowered by the universe to do so, addressing issues with succession planning or inheritances and you know, what we receive from other people. Some people might find a positive yet hidden surprise under this influence regarding partners' finances, because this is a house of sudden changes. And this is a divinely inspired, blessed combination. So if you find a hidden surprise, this is the house of partners' finances or other people's, not just your business partner or your marriage partner, but other people's finances. It could bless you in a very big way with this energy as well. It's a house of windfalls. Let me just have a look here. Oh, I love this for Leo. I only just realized this as I'm looking. Jupiter rules your 5th house. 5th house is luck. And when the Lord of luck goes into the 8th house of windfalls, in a sign that is boundaryless, conjunct with Neptune, the planet of miracles, it's possible for Leo people to get some sort of incredible, lucky windfall. So if you've had investments on the stock exchange for years, that could really pay off under this influence. If you've been, investing in gold or silver or things from the ocean, oils, Pisces is oils and things that you dig out of the ocean. Sagittarius could be if you've been investing in foreign cultures and other countries, or investing in sort of anything like spiritually based or religiously based. Anything of those natures of Pisces and Sagittarius, you might actually get a bit of a windfall of blessing that could come. And look, it may not come on the 12th of April. This is a cycle that's unfolding for the next 13 years. So it could happen at any time. It could even be building slowly until that point. Although I would add, this is a very fast house. Changes that happen like that. So it's less likely to be slow with this energy. And mutable signs, it's going to happen quickly. So I don't know why I said it would happen slowly. But sometime in the next 13 years, it could pop up and manifest in your life. How exciting. How wonderful. Don't be surprised if under this energy of no boundaries, some sort of conspiracy theories or hidden knowledge, hidden wisdom might pop up in your life all of a sudden that challenges your understanding, that challenges your Jupiter beliefs, ideals, ethics, morals. Jupiter is all those things. And something 8th house might present itself, conspiracy theories and hidden meanings and whatever, pops up, and it can really challenge where you're at and your understanding. It might turn your belief systems, Neptune, Jupiter, belief systems, turn them around 180 degrees. So you come to a whole new perspective because something comes to light and something is revealed. A lot of people need to experience that. So hopefully they do. But it's an exceptional opportunity to experience divine bliss through sex as well. The house of sex, the house of intimacy. So it's not just about body connection with this. This is connection of the soul, connection of the divine spirit, connection. I'm just so excited by this. The connection of past lives, connection of ethereal realms through the sexual act. So, oh man, the next 13 years for you Leos could be quite phenomenal if you encounter sexual partners, because they could well be very karmic. They could well be very divinely orchestrated. What a thrill. All right. And thank you, Virgo friends, for sticking with me on this one till the end. You're looking at the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction in Pisces in your 7th house. Well, there's a shadow side to this, and there's a light side as well. Let's look at them both. This is an energy that could have you seeing relationships through rose-colored glasses. And this might be in the days, weeks, months, or even years ahead over this 13-year cycle. You might see a relationship, business partnership, romantic partnership through rose-colored glasses. You might be sexually attracted to partners that you might idolize and put on a pedestal now. That might sound fun, but be careful. You cannot be in a state of permanent bliss in relationships. So this might be what you're dreaming of. This might be what you're expecting at some stage in the next 13 years. And that's not healthy. So don't fall prey to those delusions. It's not realistic. You will be, Virgo people, less likely to allow your partners to take it. Well, no, I take that back. This is an energy of expansion. Jupiter expands Neptune in the 7th house. Neptune is a real struggle in the 7th house. So be careful of partners taking advantage of you under this transit. You might have to dig deep into your courage and willpower to stand up for yourself if you find that that's the case. If people are pulling the wool over your eyes, if they're deceiving you, if they're having affairs on you, Virgo people might have to get tough Forewarned, forearmed. I want you to be strong. Okay. Be careful also, Virgo, of being in relationships where you are the savior for another person. This energy, and I spoke about this in the introduction. I would really encourage Virgo people to listen to the introduction, because all this applies, everything that I talked about kind of applies to other people and their influence on you through what I discussed in the introduction. Being a savior was one of the things I talked about. People, you might think you have to be the savior for someone else, but also you might get involved, Virgo people, with people who think they have to be your savior. And maybe you just, you want to be independent, and that's, having someone else smother you is not good. And it's not good to have people, we want equal relationships. You don't want to be in a partnership where someone else is martyring themselves for you. They'll leave you in the end if that's what you're expecting, if that's what, you're demanding of your partner, that they sacrifice themselves for you. The relationship won't last. It will be incredibly toxic and unhealthy. Neptune in the 7th house is a difficult placement. So do be careful. Compassion, Virgo people. Compassion is wonderful. And under this time, the highest manifestation of this energy is that your partners might be very compassionate and capable of giving great love and unconditional love. That's the highest manifestation. That's what you want to aim for, not settling for compromised relationships where one or the other of you is being a savior or a martyr for the other. Be aware of the weaknesses of your partner, but be realistic about their ability to be healed, saved, changed, and take action to sort things out, or avoid that sort of relationship where possible. And instead, look for the divine manifestation of love. Paul McCartney in his natal chart has Neptune in the 7th house. And of course, if you think about his relationship with not Heather Mills, where he was deceived and had the wool pulled over his eyes, etc., etc., that was the shadow side of this expression. But who was his first wife? Linda McCartney. That was the divine union of gorgeous soulmate, unconditional love. And that is available to you now as well, Virgo people, through this transit. That's what you want to aim for. Don't settle for anything less unless it is that divine, higher level love. So be very careful about who you choose to line up with. And this actually applies not only to romantic partners, but business partners as well. There might be a need coming up over the next 13 years to dissolve some sort of contract with a romantic partner or a business partner. And this energy will speak to good negotiations being able to be made in order to do that. Being compassionate, patient, kind, those sorts of lovely Piscean energies to allow that to happen. I would encourage you on the 12th of April, Virgo, to be very careful of any contracts or negotiations made. In fact, I'd probably be reluctant to sign anything just because of the threat of the shadow side of this conjunction energy, where the wool can be, and I talked about this in the intro, the wool could be pulled over your eyes, deceptions could unfold. You don't want that to happen. If you must sign a contract on the 12th of April, I would encourage you to double check with somebody else. Get another person. Make sure that you do your due diligence so you're not deceived and you're not taken for a ride, okay? Deals can be ambiguous or nebulous under this energy, and you could miss important details, and I don't want that to happen for any of my Virgo friends. So forewarned, forearmed. I know that I haven't spoken with great excitement about this energy for my beautiful Virgo friends, but that's because this really is a difficult, challenging place for Neptune to be, and Jupiter will expand that influence. I hope what I've shared here with you, Virgo, helps you be forewarned and forearmed to navigate this energy and get the best out of it. So my beloved friends, thank you for joining me for this trip around the horoscope and the look at Jupiter-Neptune conjunction. It is exciting, it is thrilling, and I hope for the next 13 years it takes humanity to a higher level of consciousness. I'll catch you with an astrology weather report next week.